Hey guys, and welcome back to another reaction video. You may be wondering, why a reaction video instead of, say, the next part of Code Vein? Well, to that is a very simple answer. I was having way too much fun in VR chat playing Among Us, because apparently Among Us is way better to play in VR chat than in the actual game itself. Anyway, let's press play and see what's gonna happen, shall we?
Viewer discretion is advised. Oh God, there were the bowls. The
Alright,
ones we'd been eating
we're reacting
out of,
to
but the meat
SCP
wasn't beef or pork.
953
It was him. And the rice?
by
Maggots
TheRubber.
crawling in his flesh. He'd have to have been dead for days. Hello everybody, I'm TheRubber. Today we bring you SCP Foundation Heater Class Object SCP-953. SCP-953, also known as the Polymorphic Humanoid, is a female red fox with 9 tails.
Why do I have the feeling YIFCON is going to be mentioned?
Enjoys taking the form of various other objects and
Just
beings,
have a sneaking
most commonly
suspicion
an
here.
attractive Korean female. The
Ooh.
one weakness to its transformations is that it keeps at least one part of its true form when in human form. This allows it to be easily spotted in a group, just by searching for the one person with fox features, whether it is a tail, ears, paws, or something else. However, it will use clothing to try and hide these features.
I mean, the ears nowadays would be really attractive in Japan and all that.
Displays moderate-level psionic abilities, namely suggestion and telepathy.
You don't say!
Insufficient to fool an outside observer, a deceived victim can be convinced of a variety of false facts, including the nature of 953, its own nature, and the nature of things around it. 953 has used this in the past to deceive a police officer into believing there was no screaming coming from a hotel room where she was staying, convincing her to roast and eat her own child.
What the
Also performing a disgusting necrophiliac acts towards the fiancé of Agent Ramsey. SCP-953 has been encountered by the SCP Foundation numerous times, with the first encounter having taken place in Busan, Korea, shortly after the Second World War. To date, 953 has escaped and been recovered 6 times, resulting in the deaths of SCP agents during various incidents.
Let me guess, with their livers removed.
953 was not heard from for over a few years.
Oddly specific,
until
I know.
Suddenly resurfacing in Pennsylvania at YIFCON.
Oh my god!
Which it had been attending in the guise of a Fury enthusiast. Before being captured, 953 carried out over an estimated 27 murders
what are the odds?
Staffs and attendees, more than any other single incident.
Seriously?
To date. The mutilated bodies were found in various places throughout the hotel, including inside a mattress,
holy shit,
hanging from a shower curtain, and served as the main course at a hotel banquet. Surviving attendees were administered Class A.
The Man in Black reference right there.
Custody. Foundation personnel assigned to capture 953 after this latest incident noted that the subject
I was kidding about the YIFCON stuff,
and did not resist
but
capture.
damn.
No further casualties have resulted from 953 from that date.
Fricking ads. Seriously, frickin' ads.
Is to be kept in a 4 by 3 by 3 meter containment cell at the end of hallway 99 at Site 17.
Why not 69?
Is to be provided with 1.5 kilograms of fresh liver daily for consumption.
Why liver, though?
Drinking water in plentiful quantities. Clean beddings to be exchanged by 953 and laundered weekly. Small luxury items like plum wine and reading materials may be provided as an occasional reward for good behavior as part of psychological conditioning.
Really good idea right now.
Human contact with SCP-953 is strictly forbidden due to SCP-953's mind-altering properties. For this reason, all personnel must stay outside the 100-meter safety zone when the sealed door is opened.
You don't say.
Food and other items will be carried out by an automated robotic assistant.
Here's your liver.
If containment fails, 953 can be theoretically terminated by gunfire. However, due to its nature, recognizing 953 may be difficult.
I mean,
because of the inadequacy of purely physical containment procedures to control SCP-953, psychological containment is also necessary. For this reason, the approach to SCP-953's containment chamber is to be lined with open-cage dog kennels. preferably of the Korean Jindo, or American foxhound breed.
Okay.
953 displays an extreme phobia of domesticated canines. And
Wonder
will not pass
why.
within 10 meters of one, especially when canines are barking or alerted. She also hates it and tends to get agitated when she's referred to as kitsune, the Japanese word for fox, instead of a kumiho, which is instead a Korean nine-tailed fox. 953 is to be considered hostile to human life.
No
dangerous,
shit!
And armed at all times. Any transport must be done under the supervision of at least 6 armed personnel. Its preferred killing method is a bare-handed strike to the abdomen, penetrating the abdominal cavity and removing the liver, which it will later consume. If given time, however, it will choose to linger over its kill, torturing its victim, as it seems to enjoy the infliction of pain upon another sentient being. One of 953's most disgusting acts was when a Japanese agent, probably better known as Agent 3, and his 2 other teammates, hereby known as Agent 1 and Agent 2, were sent out to capture 953.
And they all
Agent
nearly
3
died.
was the only survivor of the incident, during which he accomplished the task of capturing 953 alive. The following is a transcript of the after-action debriefing that took place following SCP-953's securement.
Freaking
We got
ads.
inside and went to the morgue, looked at the bodies. I used the cover story of a reporter investigating the crimes. Told them Agent 1 and Agent 2 were my photographer and assistant. Turns out they were thinking that it was a wild animal, based on the nature of the wounds and a little old lady's account.
The little old
The old lady
lady.
saw 953 eating her cow when she went out into the rice field. Then we saw this girl sitting under a waterfall, combing out her hair. She had this thin robe on. We knew it had to be 953 because of her feet. She was
Cause
trying to hide them,
you pay attention
but
to the
she
feet.
wasn't doing it right.
Right.
Agent 1 and Agent 2 smiled. Even I thought we had the edge on her. Oh God, we were stupid.
No shit!
She knew we were after her. She knew we knew what she was. She pretended to let her guard down just enough so that we could feel smug in our overconfidence. She told us that she had a
Clever
connection,
girl.
offered to serve us dinner, introduce us to the others. Agent 1 and Agent 2 thought we should go with her. Said there was a chance there might be other victims. She took us to this cottage,
Clever.
a pretty little place.
Clever little
Old and
girl.
rustic, but really
That
home.
felt wrong to say.
She took us inside, served us dinner. Agent 1
Green
saw a perfect
dinner.
wife. Demure, kind, sweet, and respectful.
And yet she's
She
none of
served us
those.
rice and pickled turnips and some kind of meat. Then we went to bed feeling sleepy and tired. In the middle of the night, I woke up.
They ate a
and
person,
saw
didn't
that
they?
Agent 1 wasn't there. Figured he'd gone to take a pee or something.
That meat
So
probably
I decided
was
to go for one myself.
man meat.
I went behind a bush and saw, well, she was there with Agent 1, and they were
They're
kissing.
dead. He's dead.
Suddenly, she bit his tongue off, all of it. And then she spit it out and showed it to him, just so that he could see it happening. Agent 1 tried to scream, but she'd torn his throat out with her teeth. Then she stabbed her hand into his belly. Agent 1
Took his liver and ate it. I bet.
He was bleeding all over the place, but she just pushed him to the ground and started working her fingers in his belly, reached in deep and pulled his liver out like she was gutting a fish and swallowed it whole. Then she started peeling his skin off like an orange or something. I didn't stop to watch. I ran back to the room, shook Agent 2 awake, told him we needed to get going. I went for our weapons.
Did you tell him the whole story, though?
And then Agent 1 walked in, asking what was wrong. So I shot him. He was dead. His eyes were glowing yellow. What the hell kind of human being has glowing yellow eyes? Agent 2 grabbed his
Apparently
gun
no.
and pointed it at me. He started yelling at me to put the gun down. And that's when 953 grabbed him from behind. And the gun went off. He shot me in the upper shoulder. I fell down screaming, and I heard a loud cackling laugh. I crawled into the living room, where we'd had dinner earlier that night,
But
and tried to
then...
slam the door shut. Rice paper screen, not going to help. But
No,
I
that's
needed
pretty much
something
paper.
between us.
It's like really
There, I
thin.
saw a man laid out where the dining table had been. His eyes were wide open, and his skin was flayed open. Oh God, there were the bowls, the ones we'd been eating out of.
Called it!
It wasn't beef or pork.
It was man meat.
And the rice? Maggots. Crawling in his flesh. He'd have to
And
have been dead for
vomit.
days. But how? We'd seen him at the base of the mountain just yesterday. I threw up. Some of them were still alive, crawling in my vomit. I stabbed her in her
That's
gut
nearly enough to make
with a
me
pointy
vomit.
stick, which slowed her down a bit. And then I dragged myself across the river. Couldn't swim, hit my head on the rocks, went downstream at least half a mile through the rapids. I got to the van, broke a window, and grabbed a flamethrower. I flicked on the sparker, managed to get it around just as she came out of the tree line. And that was when the retrieval team found me with 953. They took her away and got me to a hospital. I had a raging infection for days. Remember to check out my new animation channel, TheRubber Talk.
Well, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next video of whatever I'll be making. And and with this SCP, in all likelihood, you have one additional, very good reason not to go, even if you're into that sort of thing. You never know if it might be SCP-953. You never know. Anyway, again, bye.